Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. Have another great show lined up, and we'll get started with our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at Baldwin Road and Highway 77. Run by and see us. Any of their programs, one of them I saw yesterday said HVAC. Now that's always a good career if you're looking for something interesting to do and very rewarding. Now, high today is going to be 83, low tonight 61, and water temperature is 80. 80 has been there for about a week now. The river readings, the Apalachicola Bluntstown, I did print it out again. I keep saying I'm not, but it's at actually 0.6. It went up 1/10 of a foot. So it's we all watch out over there. It might flood over there pretty soon. How about the Choctaw at Caryville, still dropping out like it was yesterday, and we're looking at a 3.3. And then for the weekend, it's going to be right around 3 foot, and it's going to be leveled off this weekend. The Choctawhatchee, I'm getting some good reports from the Choctawhatchee River on some good brim shell cracker fishing over there, especially the last week and all. Some really nice reports. Okay, the high tide in Panama City is 6:37 this morning, and low tide is at 3:12. We're getting some small tides and a lot of tidal movement, okay? Now, I know this cool weather. I know you're driving to work with your windows down and opening up your windows at home and all. You're just very thankful to have this nice, cool weather. We should stay like this all year. But anyway, take advantage of it. Go and start planning the weekend. We've got a good show lined up now. We're going to take a break and come back with our special guest. Okay, welcome back, and Lieutenant Stan Kirkland.
Good morning, Winston.
We're sitting here talking about all kinds of things, but outdoors, a lot of stuff going on, Stan, and we're going to talk about dove hunt a little bit later, but you got some good information you want to share with folks.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, Winston, I had the opportunity to go over to the Wounded Warrior event or retreat, I think you would call it, over at Live Oak Landing Resort, Live Oak Landing outdoor destination, a resort over on Black Creek. And if you've never been there, people that are watching, you really ought to go. They've got a first-class facility there. But a gentleman named Mark McDuffie, Mark is 33 years old, lives at Freeport. He and his wife and 2 kids. And Mark's originally from Geneva, Alabama, but in 2007, Mark was serving our country in Ramadi, Iraq, when a IED went off at his vehicle, killed 2 of his team, injured Mark and a fellow team member. Mark was seriously injured, had horrible injuries to both his legs. He was flown from there to Germany, and from Germany back to the States, and spent months at Walter Reed Army Hospital. And he spent 6 months, and I think he's told me he went through 54 surgeries on his legs. And he is just a true American hero, and you know, we have to be so thankful for people like Mark. But Mark had a burning passion, though, to help other wounded warriors who are returning. And there's actually, I read the other day, 48,000 Americans that are returning.
That's amazing.
It's just an amazing figure that are coming back with war wounds and you know, the trauma associated with war. And anyway, but Mark put this event together. It was on Black Creek, and people came from these wounded warriors. So I think there were 10 of them that came. There were sponsors like Bass Pro Shop, Mann's Bait Company out of Eufaula, Cisco, which is a company provided foods, and I'm leaving somebody out, I'm sure, but they all went together and made this just a great event. These people didn't have to really spend anything, and the rooms were provided to them. They're courtesy of the Live Oak Landing, but it was great, and they got to fish. Some of these guys, you know, are missing limbs, but they really enjoyed it. One of them I met was a guy named Lance Gieselman from Hartford, Alabama. Lance was in an M1A1 Abrams tank when they hit an enormous roadside bomb. It blew the tank. These tanks weigh, I think he said the tank weighed 48 tons. I may be wrong. But anyway, it blew this tank, I forget, 50 or 75 feet, and Lance, one of his fellow crew members died. Lance and another one were injured. And Lance has fought back though, and he's a big Auburn fan. He and I were talking. Auburn's having a tough season, so we were able to commiserate a little bit about our football season. But he, you know, Lance is one of these people that's fighting back. Yeah. So a great event, and I tell you, we can't do enough for our wounded warriors.
Well, you know, we have several factions of people, wounded warriors. I know they've done it down at St. Joe, and Blue Water Outriggers helped out
exactly right.
Out of Panama City Beach. And when you say we have 48,000 of them, you know, we need this many functions and all for these guys, because they've really dedicated their lives to.
Well, it's guys and gals, and
that's true.
You know, when I say that, there were no ladies that were wounded that were in this group, but there are women that have been injured over there, just as you know. Just like our men serving.
So if you get a chance to support one of these Wounded Warrior events, you know, jump on it. It's just a great cause, and a lot of these guys and girls just love outdoor stuff, and all these things sort of centered around outdoor events. And
you know, Mark told me when he got back from back to the area after spending time at Walter Reed Hospital, a friend of his says, you know, we need to get back out fishing. He said, and he was in a wheelchair, couldn't use his legs. So his friend called a guide in Venice, Louisiana. They drove to Venice, and I've never been to Venice, but the guide and this guy put him in a boat in his wheelchair, took him out, and he said he probably caught 150 speckled trout. And as fast as he said, I couldn't really throw very well, but the guide would hook the fish, hand him the rod. And he said it just did. And that's really what led him to actually leave his job over at Eglin after, you know, after he was able to get back on his feet. And he's almost full-time now, working with Wounded Warriors, and he guides as well for people that stay there at Live Oak Landing.
Well, that's cool.
That's great story.
Really good stuff. Okay, why don't we'll take a break now. We've got a lot more good stuff, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I want to say a special good morning to TJ the mailman. Got to visit with him the other night at a Highland Park Baptist Wild Beast Feast. Had a great visit. He watches the show every day, and I appreciate you watching TJ. And a good morning. You have a great day delivering that mail today. All right, Stan, talking about some good pictures and all. You got a great picture here.
This is a gentleman, Howard Tiller. Howard's 68 years old, lives up at Chipley, and his wife lived there. As Howard said, I was born and bred and lived here all my life. And Howard retired after more than 30 years of teaching there in Washington County. But Howard now works, I don't know if he's full-time or part-time, but he works at Walmart there in Chipley. And I've gotten to know Howard over the years. The first time I met Howard, I was taking a load of regulations, some hunting and fishing regulations into the Walmart. And Howard is so friendly, and he came up and spoke to me. And but this bird, if we can put this bird up again, this bird is a Merriam's wild turkey. There are 6 species of wild turkeys in the United States and going into Mexico and Central America. We've got this is the Merriam's, and they're the Merriam's, the Goulds, the Rio Grande, the Eastern, and the Osceola, and then in the United States. And then we have the ocellated turkey, which is in southern Mexico and goes into Central America. But this is called a smoky gray phase, very unusual, big gobbler that Howard killed on a hunt of a lifetime, where he recently went, or last spring went to South Dakota, booked a hunt with a guide there, and he told me he did not plan to hunt till the next day, but the guide, when he got in there, the guide said, there's still daylight, put your clothes on, get your hunting clothes on. So Howard went out, and he said they actually killed a bird the first afternoon. He had 4 tags. He was able to fill all 4 tags. Wow. And I said, well, what did you do with the meat? And he said, well, he said, I brought it back on the airplane. I said, well, I don't know what TSA was doing, but Howard brought back, I think, the breast meat, and I'm not sure what else of all these turkeys, but I'd love to have seen that. But Howard's a great guy. Just love Howard. He's a character. I went up and met him the other morning and actually photographed his bird. A taxidermist actually mounted that bird there in Rapid City, or near Fargo, I should say.
Okay.
You know, or, excuse me, Sturgis, where they have the
motorcycle
rally. But they mounted the bird and then shipped it to him by FedEx. So anyway, he said whoever brought it just left it on his front door in a huge crate. So.
Well, you're talking about he retired at 30 years as a school teacher. We talk all the school teachers talk all the time. They want to retire and be a greeter at Walmart.
Well,
pressure.
he's living his dream.
That's good.
Howard's the first time and another time I ran into Howard was on one of our hunts, and he actually had lost something on the hunt, and I was trying to help him find it, and he told me he didn't feel well, and we got back and we finally found what he had lost, and we got back, and he called me 4 days later, and he said, Stan, he said, you know, when I told you I didn't feel well the other day, he said, I'd had a heart attack. And I said, what? And we're walking around in the woods looking for something that lost, and anyway, and I said, well, Howard, that would have been interesting if you and I were a long way from the vehicle, but he recovered, he's doing well, and that bird is on display at the Walmart Chipley. If you go in there, they let Howard put his bird up there in the where they sell hunting and fishing license, and so anyway, but a good thing there for Howard.
And a good picture too. Good picture.
Thank you.
And we had Ronnie Groom on yesterday. We talked about the seasons coming up. You know, we just opened up dove season. And squirrel season.
Right, dove season came in, and it's noon to legal sunset shooting.
Now the second phase of dove. Now we're going to be able to hunt in the morning.
Yes, second and third phases. And originally, the reason for that is when the commission originally considered dove hunting, whether morning, afternoon. During the first phase, they felt like that the people that like to sleep in during the early part of the season. That it may not be happy with them if they got dove hunting going outside. I actually went on a hunt where we were shooting. It was a second phase hunt, and somebody called a deputy, and the deputy said, "You can't hunt in the morning," and he rounded us all up. And I said, "Well, listen, I work with the agency. I know what I'm talking about." So I had to call dispatch and hand him the phone and let him tell our dispatch. That wasn't in this county; it was another county. So not everybody is familiar with that, but second and third phase is open to early morning and to morning and afternoon. And if you've never shot in the morning, it's great. The only thing is, if it's foggy, it can be dangerous because you can't see your other people on the field. So you just have to make sure and pick a morning that you don't have a lot of fog, because the doves will still come in. It's just it just creates an element that's a little dicier if you try to shoot in the morning.
Well, while we're talking about dove, we're going to mention, we just had a dove shoot this past weekend. By the way, tomorrow's show now will be the video of the dove shoot, and Sam was one of our guests there. And
you had it was great. I'm telling you, the chicken, Winston, you could leave this and become a cook somewhere.
No, I don't want to do that. Teaching's hard enough. Cooking, but anyway, we just had a great time. And, it's like I tell my students, a dove shoot is not going out just pulling a trigger at a bird flying. It's the whole camaraderie concept and being around good people and all. And we did have a great time.
It was. And your grandchildren, you have the best mannered grandchildren, and well,
I take credit for that, but I really their mom and dad does a good job.
But Walter and his wife, they've done a good job with their kids, and I know you had other grandchildren there. Yeah,
it was fun, but we'll have that video on tomorrow, and I think you really will enjoy it. And then also on another subject, we had the same subject. We had a prize for whoever shot the most dove, and they were awarded a Panhandle Outdoors Real Tree Cap. And we're not going to tell you who won, but it was a good shooter that won it, and it was I think they'll be surprised to see who won this thing.
Yeah, good hunt. Good hunt.
Okay, all right. Let's take our final break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Sitting here with Stan Kirkland going over all kind of good information and all, but right now let's look at our times for today, our fishing times. We're looking at this morning 9:11 to 11:11, That's a good time. Sandy, if you get off work early, it'd be a good time to go. And this afternoon, actually tonight, you won't stay up that late, 9:35 to 11:35. Good time to go. And you say you've been hearing some good fishing reports from different people.
Flounder, speckled trout, boy, the mullet are running right now. If you can throw a cast net, now's a good time to go. And mullet are as good right now as they'll be all year. They're fat and they're good.
Well, that's why if we're talking about a dove shoot, I couldn't decide whether to fry mullet or smoked chicken. I decided to smoke chicken because I could do it before, but I really wanted to fry some mullet up, so maybe next time we'll do that. A couple things to do this weekend. Also, don't forget the Elizabeth Bardolph Memorial Redfish Tournament. We've talked about that for quite some time now, but it's from Saturday from 6 a.m. to 11 to 3 p.m. and it's going to be there at the Porter Park at Beta Bridge. Just run by and support those folks if you would. That's just a great cause. All that money goes to Boys and Girls Club Learn to Swim program in honor of Elizabeth Bardolph. And Jeff and his wife just do a great job. Another thing to do now, Saturday, if you will get a chance, go over to the E.O. Wilson Biophilia Center. Mike Kay will be there and talking about aquaculture and different marine touch tanks. That'll be a presentation at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock at the E.O. Wilson Biophilia Center on Highway 20 over by Freeport. So all kind of things going on outdoors this weekend. All right, now, we got a couple other things you wanted to mention about squirrel season.
Well, yeah, and I see you've got it on your calendar here. Squirrel season opens this weekend. It'll be on Saturday the 13th. It's a long tradition, but it's as long. It goes back to for a couple of hundred years that people love to squirrel hunt, and it is only on private land. It's opening a month early, but it's only on private land, not on public land. So you can't go to these these swamps. If you got private land, go and have a great time, but not on the public areas. It doesn't open yet. And then, of course, the following weekend, archery season opens. And, hunters have been coming into our office for 2 months. They've been, asking questions and finding out, if there's any changes and that sort of thing. One thing I would mention, if a lot of hunters hunt out of tree stands, make sure and get you a good harness if you're going to hunt out of a tree stand, because every year, we have people that are hurt and injured, and in some cases there are deaths in the United States, Florida included, where people fall out of tree stands. So wear a harness. It's an arrest device to keep you in the tree if something should happen. So you get you a good harness. They sell them around at at our stores. I know Ronnie carries them down at C&G. Bass Pro Shops carries them. I don't know about Blue Water. Do you know if Blue Water carries them? Blue Water carries them. So if you live in the area here, there's any number of businesses that carry them, and it's just a great investment. And the last thing I was going to mention is about stone crab season. Comes in next week. Excuse me, the 15th. And it'll be until, and I want to say it's May the 15th. I may have checked that date. But stone crab season comes in. You can the crabs that you harvest have to be at least 2 3/4 inches from the elbow to the tip of the immovable claw, that bottom claw. And you cannot take claws from egg-bearing females. And we ask that you not take both claws from the males, because they're defenseless if you do that. Take one claw, release them, and then that way and plus that crab will grow another claw, and so it's a great season. People love stone crabs. It's a season comes in for both recreational and commercial harvesters. So those are big things coming up.
Yeah, well,
a lot happening right now.
We talk about what a great month October is.
It is.
It is just so many things going on and so many opportunities to take part in outdoors. I know. You have some big things coming up anytime soon yourself, or?
Well, we're going to take, my wife and I are going to take a few days and go to the mountains. So we're going to go and spend a few days actually up near Ellijay, Georgia. But got a little hunting, got some hunting trips planned, and so just. And plus, I'm going to try to get in a little flounder fishing here before the flounder leave. I got a secret spot or two that I go to and catch fish. I love to go out and take my cast net and catch my bait, and then and fish, and it's quiet. It's just the peace and solitude. You hear ospreys or a bald eagle, and I'm telling you, it's a great thing to live here where we do.
Yeah. And I keep telling people the reason we can do a daily show on outdoors is because of the place we live in and the kind of people that watch the show, the outdoors we have. And I know at FWC, y'all see that in the kind of people we have in this Panhandle.
Right. And we have people every day that come in with unique questions and all. And one final thing, if I could mention it, Winston, there has been an outbreak of a disease in deer. It's called EHD. It's a viral disease that we see it every few years. There's a good bit in the press about it. If you Google the word EHD, it'll come up. Florida's one, I think now, of 13 or 14 states that have EHD outbreaks. Most of them are actually in the West or Midwest, and it's a disease that's common in the South. I really think there are other states around us that have it. They just, haven't said anything, but we do see it in some of our deer. Of course, you never eat a sick deer. You would not want to, eat meat from a sick deer. But if you do see deer that are emaciated or something's wrong, you can certainly call us. We've got a way to report that, as well as, and we're taking some animals, not all of them, but testing those animals to see, how far it is. It's spread by little midges, like little no-see-ums. Midges, little black flies, or little no-see-ums will spread it. And again, it's something we see periodically.
Yeah, so nothing to be alarmed about.
Nothing to be alarmed about, but if you're an outdoors person, you may have seen and heard about it.
Okay. It's amazing how those no-see-ums, they're just no good, aren't they?
Well,
they bite us all the time, and then they spread disease and all.
They will run a fishing trip if you don't have any spray, that's for sure.
Well, Stan, as always, we just always appreciate you coming on. And if you have any questions, you call the FWC office and ask them. Y'all, like I say, get bombarded with them at times. And,
we get all kinds of questions. And you can go to our website, myfwc.com. There's a place there that you can ask questions. And we respond as quick as we can to them. Okay. We don't ignore questions.
Thank you, Stan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Winston.
Hey, thank y'all for watching. Now, y'all do something good for somebody today, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.